going on, guys? Dorian here. Just got my band that I told you guys about. I got this one at Academy probably about a year and a half ago. It's held up pretty well. Also going to put a website up. Elite FTS is where I bought a lot of my other bands. They're awesome. And actually have a chart that gives you like the poundage. That if you put it on like a barbell or something like that, you can estimate how much weight it is and things like that. So just something to keep in mind with that. But with that said, I'm just going to get into this and we'll go over some more stuff later, okay? Thanks. Okay, so this one's pretty self-explanatory. You're just grabbing the band and doing a pull apart and focusing on pulling your shoulder blades together, kind of like a rear delt machine at the gym. Works that, and I always do these for a warm-up anyhow, before any kind of pressing or anything like that, and any back movements. Just a good one to get things warmed up. All right, for shoulder press, you're just putting the band under your foot on one side, getting in position, and then of course just mimicking. This here is like a neutral grip shoulder press. You can also switch it up here and go into just a standard shoulder press. But this is a pretty good one. Gets everything going, the shoulder, triceps, and all that stuff. For this one, of course, just putting the band under your feet, pulling it up and over your shoulders. I hold it in position kind of like this. Um, you can do it however you want, just as long as the band's across the front of the shoulders there, and then you're just squatting away. All right, so for banded push-ups, you got to get the band behind you. That's a job in and of itself sometimes. I try to keep it kind of like in line with the bottom of my shoulder blades, just there. Makes it easier for the band to not slide up on you and start smacking you in the back of the head and stuff as you're going. But of course, just then from there, you're just doing your push-ups like normal. All right, so this is the X band row. You simply put the band around whatever you have it anchored to there, and then loop it through itself to where each side is in one each hand. Then you're just from there doing kind of like you would a row with like dumbbells or something like that. Make sure you're pulling, of course, with your lats, keeping the shoulders back and everything. You can change hand positions if you want to feel it a little bit different there. But other than that, it's just mimicking a row. Just showing the setup for the lying hamstring curl here. It's just got to be in a lower position, of course, because you're laying down. Next clip's going to show how you kind of put your foot in there and everything. All right, so this one might take you a couple times. I know sometimes my foot likes to come flying out of there, but once you get it in there, you just kind of have to turn your foot just a little bit to kind of keep the band from flying off of your heel. But of course, slow, controlled movements with this one. You're not getting a ton of resistance towards that back part of the movement, but you are getting a lot of contraction there once your heel's reaching up closer to the butt there. So some good work with this one. I actually like to use these just in regular training too. Okay, so the first variation of the tricep push down here, if you have a high spot you can anchor the band to. Of course, you want to have nice, slow, controlled movements with this one, mimicking kind of like a cable push down, single arm, like a rope attachment or something like that. All right, second variation for triceps, just throw the band around your neck. This isn't the most comfortable way to do it, but if you don't have an anchoring point, you can still get the job done. Then, of course, you're just doing the work. All right, so for face pulls, you're looping the band around the anchoring point here, getting that in place. And then from there, you're just simply grabbing the band and trying to do, basically you're pulling the band apart while also pulling it towards you. It's going to stimulate a lot of upper back and rear delt. This is a staple of mine. Ever since I hurt my shoulder, I've done this probably every training session before I do any kind of upper body stuff. All right, so this is the wood chopper. This is a good core movement. Gets a lot of anti-rotation in there. You want to get the anchoring point up pretty high. I probably could have went a little bit higher with this one even. Arms extended. You're not doing anything with the arms. Don't try to pull with your bicep or tricep or anything like that. Your arms are just straight out. And from there, it's just rotating from your center, going up. I mean, just like you're chopping wood, basically. All right, so this is the Palloff press. Um, I'm doing a half kneeling version. You can stand up and do it too if it's more comfortable for you. The half kneeling makes it a little more challenging. You know, it's not a super tough thing, but you do enough of these and you start to feel it quite a bit in your core, even in your chest and everything. So this is just a good kind of wrap up thing to do, especially if when you're regular training. But for what we have now, this is a good option to do for core work. This is actually one of my favorite movements for back. It's called a Dante row. You basically are kind of looping the band around itself here, grabbing one in each hand on each side, kind of trying to bend over. I probably should have bent over a little bit more to get my torso flatter to the ground, more parallel. But you're simply just using your lats to pull the band into you, nice, slow, and controlled. Like I said, I feel this a ton in my lats when I do it on cable machine and even with the bands. Okay, so this is the banded chest fly. You can kind of adjust where you put this at on the anchoring points. I pointed kind of upper, lower, middle, just kind of mimic how you would do in a cable crossover. This one, of course, is a single arm variation, which tends to work a lot of core as well, which I like to do. But this will hit your chest just like a cable crossover. A little bit less resistance, of course, towards the end, but it still does the job. Taking it back outside here, Gita, our husky, always tries to like to get in the way here, so just a little shot of her. Okay, so for the bicep curls, this is pretty self-explanatory. Most people can probably come up with this on their own, but you just put the band under your feet, and I usually do a hammer curl position on these. You can, of course, do, pronated, supinated as well to hit whatever you need to. For the lateral raise, I just put the band under one foot and loop it around there just so it's not flying out from underneath your foot. Then from there, it's just like as you would do like a cable lateral raise. Not a ton of resistance toward the bottom of the movement, so try to keep that intention on there and keep it slow. I probably went a little bit too fast here. Last one here is a front raise. Get the band under both feet. And then it's just, of course, kind of like a barbell front raise, mimicking here. You can, of course, position your hands neutral, or you can have them in a pronated position as well. So it's just whatever you want to work on. Okay, so this is the Elite FTS website I had mentioned earlier. This is where I've gotten a lot of my bands from. These are good quality. They last a long time. If you catch them on sale for an even better price, grab them. Anyhow, going into it here, I'll show you just kind of, there's a chart coming up. It gives you an idea of like the poundages. They've actually tested basically the poundage at different heights. Basically gets higher as it goes. Going on here, if you guys don't have like a squat rack or something like that, they do make door anchors that you can put inside your door frame, kind of go on the hinge side, to where you can put it in different positions to kind of mimic what I was showing you guys in this. So kind of give you an idea on that. This is just something that I pulled up on Dick's website. All right, so thank you all for checking this out. I hope you stuck with it all the way through. If you're needing a solution for this time in terms of like a home workout, if you don't have access to weights and equipment and stuff like that, bands and things like that are definitely a good option. Something else I would mention is like a TRX suspension trainer. They're about $150 to $200, but you can get some good work in with those as well. Also, hip circles are nice. They hit kind of the smaller muscles, adductor, abductor muscles, and really do help with squats technique and strengthening up of the glutes and things like that too. So be something to check out as well later on. So if you guys find these useful, if you use them for your home workouts and stuff like that, please post them on the page here. I'd really appreciate it. Hopefully this helps you guys out, like I said earlier. Tag the page and everything. Get the word out. There might be some friends that you have or family or some people like that that might benefit from this as well. So anyhow, stay strong, guys. Stay healthy. And hopefully this coronavirus stuff is all over and we can get back to the gym and stuff and back to our regular routines. Thanks again.